Um, the response to the Chester Raccoon stories has been overwhelming for the simple reason that it's allowed adults to reach children on a basic level in dealings with some of the major issues, starting with separation anxiety, and then going to sibling rivalry. Then I was asked by the military to write a book for children who had to move a lot and having to leave friends and teachers and start brand new relationships. And then as soon as they start brand new relationships, they have to move again. And so I wrote A Kiss Goodbye. And then I kind of beat everybody to the punch with Chester Raccoon and a Big Bad Bully. I saw what was happening nationally with children, and I think if we can start with children at a very young age with this kind of anti-bullying and how to deal with a bully situation, and there's no one answer. I can't give any more suggestions, or Mrs. Raccoon can't give any more suggestions than one, and that one may not be the answer for any particular child, but by having the public be aware of the Chester Raccoon series, not just the kissing hand. They can go to it like an encyclopedia and say, okay, we're having a problem with bullying. Let's pull out Chester Raccoon and the Big Bad Bully and see what Mrs. Raccoon has for a story, and let's see how she has them deal with it. And then another one, I was asked well over 20 years ago to write a story for children how to deal with death, and I just didn't know how to come up with one. And then it dawned on me, you don't write a story about death, you write a story about the living afterwards. And in every religion, I don't know any religion where after the death occurs and how you take care of the death, the burial, or whatever it is, that you don't meet as a community, and you don't talk, and you don't make memories. And so when I wrote Chester Raccoon and an Acorn Full of Memories, it was to Mrs. Raccoon takes Chester and Ronnie and then Cassie, and then it builds and builds and builds until the whole woods, the whole forest of animals goes down to Skittle Squirrel's favorite place. And they learn to build a memory of him so they won't forget him. And Skittle Squirrel had lost all of the acorns that he had planted. And Mrs. Raccoon shows Chester, she says, look over there, and Chester sees an entire grove of brand new trees. And he says, look, the forest has made a memory of Skittle Squirrel, because all of the acorns had turned into little trees coming up. And then he takes an acorn back to his hollow. And he had in A Kiss Goodbye, he had taken a piece of bark, which I did as a child when I moved. I took a piece of bark from my favorite tree, and he took a piece of bark. And in the book I'm writing now, he can't find his piece of bark. And so he goes from friend to friend to friend to friend, and with each friend he's got a problem, like with the porcupine, he gets stuck, and it just gets worse and worse and worse, and it turns out that his brother Ronnie just moved the piece of bark on top of another piece of bark so he couldn't see it. And, it's just a trick that brothers play on each other. And I'm also, just now writing a book about, I don't know if it'll be a Chester Raccoon book, but writing about different guardians, that not everybody has parents at home. Somebody has a grandmother, or somebody has two fathers, getting into, what society is now and things like that. So just, I know it's a very long answer, but it has been so rewarding. And yesterday I got an email that said, I love the series, and that to me has just been outstanding. And not just, I love the kissing hand. Right. And also sassafras for being, learning to love who you are, even though you stink once in a while, loving who you are, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stink.